Yo, what is up? Audio looks good. Excellent. So today, um, I am going to be editing some motion capture that I just recorded. I could have live streamed the session too, but there's not that much going on. And what we want today is an animation set that we could use to recreate a cinematic like this, where people are sitting side by side. It's sort of stereotypical. It's done a lot, and there's a bunch of techniques for making animations for this that makes it like reusable. And so I'm doing my take on it, and it's a bit of an experiment, but I'm pretty sure this was gonna work out pretty well, based on some testing. So the camera angles we're looking at are like, you could play it from the front, you could play it from the back, and then you play the line in close-ups. And this is me playing Clair Obscur yesterday, and I'm just kind of feeding off of this game right now to find like, what animation should I approach, right? There's like infinite. So it's just nice to be like, that's what Clair Obscur needed, and so that's what we're doing. I kind of doubt theirs, looking at these, were mocap based, and they were using XNs, which I guess I won't talk about that too much, but like these look like they're just like kind of animation sets to me, like just hand animated. Versus some of their like cinematics where they're like in a group and walking around. Those look like they have a little bit more like life to them. But these ones I think are just like hand animated and just reusing the same set over and over, which is my goal too. But to base it from actual motion capture is the idea. Bunch of stuff about animation choosers and locomotion states and state machines in UE 5.6 that I need to catch up on, because I'm going to be continuing to build out my demo of this. I'm going to try to make a like full narrative mini game, but it's sort of like there to test not all, but to test sort of like the main ways that like dialogue and mocap for narrative stuff is being used in games. So there's a lot going with that, with AI plus cinematics plus in-game dialogue and whatnot. But anyway, it's a great way to test that the motion capture I'm creating and authoring is usable in-game. So that's sort of the project here. So also AI bad, sculpting good. So it's been my based on my research lately. So let's see here. Oh yeah, so all of this will be put onto narrative motion. These are the ones from the last session, hand on hip. I haven't gotten to use these yet in a demo. They'll go perfect though. This one I've used for the teacher, and then these writing animations were also used. So in real time, building these out, it's going pretty well. And appreciate everyone who's come, and there have been several people that have come and bought the entire library at once, which is it's good. I mean, obviously, but like I kind of did this so that like you could kind of find like individuals, but I think more and more as this builds out to be in like the hundreds, like there'll be some sort of option to just have it pre-organized and you just get the whole thing. But for now, from an authoring point of view, I just want to kind of go one by one, and I use this as an online repository. When I switch workstations, I'm like, let me go just download a couple of these, and I kind of want to know which ones I want. So let's review the mocap of the day. So I just recorded this a little bit ago. Studio's kind of a mess. And just want to talk a little bit about my mindset when recording these for authoring this type of animation. So we want an intro for cinematics. We want an intro. So we do a sit, and this is like what I'm going to call like the masculine sit. It's just what we're going to call it. Anytime we see red dots means that my system's having a hard time finding the markers, and that is usually mostly apparent on the hands. But as soon as you start sitting and crossing your legs, it can start to mix up markers on the knees and stuff like that. It can all be fixed later, but we can kind of see how well the capture went and then the reference. So I walk in, I'm sitting, both legs far apart. So this is like legs, we're like not quite man spreading, but it's pretty close, right? So this is kind of like a masculine, not the best posture, kind of idle. I didn't go for the sitting on the floor, hands on the ground, like we're at a campfire, like in Clair Obscur. I think this is a more like generic reusable one here. Like you're in a chair, basically. And I have a chair that's pretty good right now, very low occlusion. And with my retarget to the mannequin, it pretty much puts my legs at like a perfect 90-degree angle, which is not for free. That takes time to have all that work out with the capture. I'm also doing a hand pose that is fairly low occlusion on my hands. So like every single one of my markers is seen. I have like a big array of cameras specifically looking for these right now. Like I focus them and iris them specifically for hands. We have fairly stable hands here. So really boring stuff happening. Walk in straight to idle. Learned that from yesterday and executed that today. And these are just listening. So listening to the left, listening to the right. You could probably use dialogue during them too, but they're listening. And now I'm doing dialogue to the left, and I didn't do like an excited hand and a not excited hand. I'm just like going for it. And so there's a lot of swaying. I'll see in like a medium shot if that's too much, but I'm trying to give it like, you know, these are CG characters. They need to be like moving a little bit, or it feels dead, in my opinion. And I'll be continuing to test that in my game. But like, still, my thesis at the moment is that the full body needs to be captured at once. You can't. It's hard to break this up, because of the way that it moves, and we'll kind of see. But like, if I move my hand, it affects my whole body. It affects pretty much the pelvis. It affects the lean, and that's what's natural about it. So I'm still not at the point when I want to break these up, where it's just the arm or something. I don't think that works. The head direction I'm somewhat okay with some sort of procedural offset on top of this base animation, and I'm okay with breaking this up into clips or something like that. But the full body, I want to react to it, is what I'm thinking about for these. And we're trying to keep the feet in a place, and we want to make it so that these would all blend together. I'm seeing some hand noise, and then we also have an exit that you just cut away from because I don't walk that far, right? So it's an intro to an idle, listen left, right, talk left, right, exit. So that's a lot of stuff to clean up and loop. I don't know why I'm sitting back down. The hell's this? Oh yeah. Okay, so this is gonna be. Oh, is this a rehearsal? Yeah, that was a tech rehearsal. So for the more like feminine, so to speak, version of this, I tried yesterday a cross leg, and that is more difficult than it sounds to get right. So I amended this, and I'm doing cross-legged this way instead, which is lower occlusion, lower bounciness. So it's just that you're not man spreading, basically. So the legs are like closer together. And so I'll see how this retargets. Depends on the outfit, depends on a bunch of things. But this is supposed to be like a more like, I don't know, closed leg pose or something like that. Still hands in a place that should be an easy IK fix. If your hands are through your outfit, shouldn't be too much of a problem. And I'm sitting more upright. So that's pretty much the difference in this set. Looks, I don't know if that was a long enough idle. This is a listen left. This is a listen right. And then we have talking left and talking right. So just slightly different pose. We would want different. I could see doing a lot of sets of these side by sides and having different like base poses. But it's still my thought that for this to feel natural, especially in like a third person view of this, where you're not cutting into medium shots and you can cheat. Like if this is running like an in-game cinematic where you can see the full body of both characters, that the full body motion capture is needed for this to look natural. And I was pretty impressed with the teacher animation yesterday in that scene. It just looks very natural. It looks very human moving, even though it's like an elf teacher. And then we have an exit. Who I don't know how this is gonna go, but I will test in an in-game cinematic because it's like, and then we cut. But like, I want to be able to like have the character get up and exit, and then cut to a reaction shot. It's a big thing you do in movies. Is like, as the characters exit, you see how the other characters affected by them, and so you kind of need that motion. So, kind of see how it goes. So that's that set. That's a lot of chopping up to do. I also watched a video on animation compression and optimizing for Unreal Engine, and there's some stuff I need to kind of look at as far as like authoring these properly, specifically for Unreal. And then because I'm making like an elf grimoire game, I just wanted an idle of someone reading a book. So this is heavy occlusion on the bottom hand, which it's not too bad. You can kind of not trick the system, but you kind of give it. Oh yeah, this is going to be unusable. So this is fully unusable probably, or we'll take the hand animation and delete it. And just take this pose and just leave it the same. It never has to really change. But I wanted an idle of someone reading a book, and then I like flip through the pages, and then I talk to someone. And standing animations are very different than sitting. This one, though I like the movement, I want this like movement. This one we could probably do like a spine one to spine, or spine one all the way up to the head, aim offset and like just have them, oh, look that way, and I would be okay with that probably. And we'll see how this body motion looks with an aim offset. I'm not sure. But tons of occlusion on the hand. We'd have to go jump into actual curves to clean that up. But I wanted an idle of reading, and because a lot of this takes place in like kind of like this game's gonna take place in like a library where people make spell books, and so people are sitting there reading spell books. So I just need a bunch of idles. So this one's gonna need some like actual like curve surgery to fix. So here we are. I need to document my fury with exporting animations out of Unreal. It's so bad, but anyway, everything else is really good. So testing, yeah. So this is a disaster in here. Freaking disaster. Finals. Who knows what that means? So I'm gonna call this the side by side. So up until now, it's just been raw Vicon mocap going on the store, and it's very good, very usable. But these animation sets need a lot of authoring, and everything loops is the other conclusion I came to. Everything loops. So I've cleared my downloads to be NDA safe here, and we have 3 animations. Now these are going to come in at 120. I suppose that's not bad, but there's a lot going on in here. So because these are coming from Vicon, they're pre-scrubbed of a lot of stuff you don't need, and it makes the files humongous. So if we're like optimizing this for game development, it's a sort of a different execution than the raw mocap editing. But things like get rid of curves that don't have, do not. Oh, it's built in. Okay, remove redundant keys. Okay, that's pretty good actually. Delete existing, and there's a bunch of stuff in here. Delete stuff we don't need, and specifically with metahuman animations retargeted from, the mannequin, there's like certain things we want to sort of like optimize for like actually putting in games. So I'll start profiling the animations eventually. So this project only has one. Ooh, what? Only has one skeletal mesh for the mannequin. Imagine most of my games have so many. What's up, Iva? Oh, I should put this chat here. But yeah, anyway, my other game project, which I'll start streaming the game development side of this too when we actually implement these animations into state machines and like cinematics. But it's much more complicated. There's like multiple skeletons we're juggling for that. But we'll kind of see. So we'll get these in. They're going to be 120 frames per second, which is still pretty small because of the Vicon. The retarget kind of strips out a lot of the secondary bones and that sort of stuff. But I don't think we need 120 frames per second. I think 60 would be fine. We could conform it to 60 here, but we'll essentially just conform. We'll just export the 60 out of Unreal Engine. I do want to jump into some Python blueprint scripting of curve editing in Sequencer. I wrote tools like that a couple years ago for my like VTuber project, and that was like way before this stuff was like it was very early for that. And I know it's come a long way, and there's a bunch of animation tools I need to make that would make this process of cleaning up much easier. And like most mocap TD stuff, you want to eventually have like automated pipelines, because right now I record like a couple animations a day, but out of like a normal recording session, like if someone was paying for my studio to do it, it's like, okay, here's like 100 animations you recorded in one day, and you have to process all of them, and that's not something you want to do by hand, one by one usually. Most people build that workflow into, Python Motion Builder Maya, but I'll be building it completely in UE. Though I need some, I gotta get some stuff figured out as far as like exporting these animations without the skeletal mesh. I'm sure it's possible. Okay, so 1,000,000 keyframes because we're 120 frames per second, but and again, we are not a Quinn retarget. Quinn is very different. This is a Manny retarget where the hands line up. We could do a Quinn retarget base, but we use Manny. But that's enough to show you that the difference between Manny and Quinn is significant in the hand placement on the body. I have my body retargeted to this body as optimal as I can possibly get it to make this process easier. That seems fine. So these are like super boring animations, but like you cannot make a narrative video game without them. That's sort of the thing. And I want them to look alive is the hard part. So start chopping this thing up. What did I do for levels here? Did I make a level for this? Mocap editing? Okay. Let's see. Ugh, I hate editing in the sun like this. I gotta set up like a nice little lighting setup, but for now, I guess this is probably okay. Fortnite's already LUF instead of this, so, and then which way is the skeleton facing? I forget. I started doing some Fortnite mocap stuff, and I was like, wow, they're living in UE6 future already, LUF. But I won't even. I won't even. It's too early in Unreal Engine. We're not UE6 yet. We won't even think about that. Oh boy. Well, let me tell you, there's gonna be a billion sequences, and we're not labeling them great. So let's do side by side dates and stuff. Organization will come eventually after my like 600th version of this. I will have some sort of situation here. So this is gonna be side by side one. So I forget what the goal of this is going to be. I think this is going to be the overall correction in feet, and then we chop it up into pieces from there is the goal. The what's this cube? What were you? You're like a table. So we don't have any like prop surface stuff to deal with right now. So we'll just hide this. And I'm not really too concerned with making these sequences reloadable, usable later. Like I am for my ecom starter, I would be for a game. If I just have to delete that cube and bring it in every time, I don't care. That doesn't matter. Oh, the mannequin face is why. The eternal thing we deal with in Unreal Engine. The X is forward, but the mannequin face is Y. Forever. Let's get rid of this. It's like X is forward, unless it's the skeleton. But I forget what LUF even is now. Just have to boot up UEFN and we can find out. So this should just be side by side. Only having one mannequin skeleton in the project is like really nice. So let's put this to 60. Tragedy. Though I mean, it's pretty bad to not do that. So how many seconds is this? This was sort of a long sequence, longer than I would normally go. But it was fine. So we do want this cinematic intro to sit. It's going to be a root motion. I can get the proper root motion put back on this animation. Right now, the root just chills and then the pelvis walks around, but we can snap the root back on. We can snap the IK bones back on, but at this point, this would be a root motion animation, which UE6 or whatever. Like when there's like root motion stuff is like better in sequencer. We'll be able to do that. But for now, I kind of understand how we would assemble this. If this was an in-game animation, if this was the player doing that, we would have to use the root motion and have the player pawn like move along with it. But we're mostly looking at cinematic version where we'll just cut. It's fine, doesn't matter. So we're looking at segments of intro to idle, keep some of the idle. Then we're going to have an idle that loops. Then we're going to have built in the transition from idle to look left is going to be the beginning of that animation is always a good head into, then it doesn't loop though. Well, what we could do is we could loop it as it returns back to idle. And I performed with enough head and tails back to idle for all of these. So I suppose the loop is idle, look left, listen, back to idle. And we loop that perfectly. And then same thing with this one. And then same, so they all return back to the idles. So I tried to record enough idles in between that I could make these all go together. And that should be fine. And then an exit. So that's a lot of animations plus looping, plus exporting animations out of sequencer is the most cursed process ever. And so let me get this going here. It is so painful. Can you talk about content? So like, what do I even use in this process? I'm trying to think about like what's important about this. We don't need much of a view of the actual viewport, which is the funny part. It's mostly like a managing assets thing. So we'll see how this goes. Yeah. Okay, so here we go. Let's chop up at 60 frames per second intervals here the intro to sit, and this doesn't loop. This foot we really shouldn't try to, but I'm just trying to land in the idle. No, I don't want like anything that's like too unique about that transition, but Let me see here. Okay, you sit. I don't. The legs like settling. That seems like a lot, but we can always cut it down. This one doesn't loop, so it's fine. So 20 seconds, walking in, and when it comes to putting these narrative scenes together, having too much head and tails is almost better, always better. Because if it just ends immediately and you don't have anything to blend over, it's sort of a problem. Like we need to blend this into something. We kind of want a good amount of that, right? I'll start to kind of find what those numbers are as I build the cinematics myself. But there, so this gives us a lot. This is the action we want, but then we have all of this to blend if we need to, which we probably wouldn't even need that much, but we'll start there. So, I need to do a couple testing things because like technically we don't want the animations of the secondary bones being exported from this. But this isn't the phase where we would strip that out, and I hope I can write a tool that strips it out in Unreal Engine without having to like go into like Houdini or Maya or something where we have access to all the data. But we'll see. My workflow is also designed so that the FBXs could be used outside of Unreal Engine if they needed to be. So we can't do. I do this in a more generic way than like, oh, I'll send you the Unreal Engine, U asset. This isn't like a U asset finishing pipeline for now. Especially because U assets change between versions of Unreal Engine, which is like, I'm not playing that game right now. No, thank you. We're going to go very generic. You could go back to UE 4.7, except for this skeleton's different. But anyway, kind of want to strip out all this stuff and make this as like generic as possible. So that's fine. So we want to, I should have set this up in the beginning, is we do want this off. So is this keyed? Let me just make sure that's keyed now. It sort of doesn't matter because we would strip out the secondary bone animation, but I won't be doing that for this set, so it does sort of matter. So we'll turn that off. Let's go back to sequences. But in the end, it doesn't matter because we would want to strip any secondary bone animation off of this anyway, and just send in I forget the number. I just watched a video. It was like 86 or something like that. Like, there's a certain number you're happy about seeing bones wise from an animation here for performance, and then there's a number that's like 156 or something, which is like all the correctives, and that's bad. You don't want those. Okay, cool. So where are we here? So what are we gonna do? So these are like those are finals. The organization's not great here. Testing. Okay, so we need to come up with a better way of doing this. But so there's going to be a lot in here. There's a lot more than there was yesterday. So side by side. I should have called it A because like I'm just going to start calling it A for now. We're going to start authoring like all the junk into here. This one's not junk though. This one's kind of like a final out of the gate, I think. There shouldn't be too much more to do there. And it doesn't have to perfectly loop back into the idle. Though it would be good if it does. It should, but we'll see. So unfortunately, every single time I'm going to have to find this. It's just, this window is so bad, but I'm very sad about this. And if you shake the window, you can turn that off in Windows, but I just forget how to do it. Every single time I'm going to have to find this, and it's awful, and I'm so sad. And yeah, so every single time I'm going to have to click that. It's going to be great. So this is SBSA, and so what is this now that we've just made? We're gonna have like walk to sit 1. I don't know why we'd have versions of it, but it's always safe. Let's do that. We're gonna go full stock. I don't want to think about this. I mean, there's some stuff we could probably. Can you exclude bones in here? I bet you. I wonder if the workflow could be done right here on this export. But that'll be more of a tech day at some point. We're going to be like, don't use these bones, and I have like that set up. I'm not sure yet, but anyway. Either that or I'll make a script that just rocks through a whole folder and just strips them all out. I think that would probably be even easier. Okay, so side by side A, this is SBS A walk. So how many bones? I mean, I was just watching this like optimization thing. So how many bones are in this animation? It's not really the goal of today is to have that be right, but like most of this stuff should just be gone. All the secondary bones, they're in there, but does this mean they don't have animations on them? I'm not sure. Sockets, yeah, because I'm using the actual mesh from the Unreal Engine project, which just has like all this extra bones and sockets and stuff we like don't need on it. But I don't know what the FBX will export with, so that'll be something else. But anyway, the animation's good. That's all that matters. So, however, so one thing we do want is if we do end up changing the position, we would want to have done that beforehand. I think this is fine. The feet are just like pretty close. I would say like, I mean, butt wise, he's. So there's sort of a question of like where. So I didn't bake a root into this. We would have a root bake into this so that it's like always centered under the root centered under the pelvis. The question is where should that be relative to a chair? And so it depends on how you author your chairs, like in 3D. But for now, that stuff can be done additively after as well. But like for now, we're going to say that like this is at least reasonable. Feet are mostly evenly over the axis. And your butt's kind of like, the origin at least at this point is kind of like, it's kind of neither here nor there. It's not really at the feet and it's not really at the butt either. So it's sort of, I don't really have a great take on what we should aim for with sits, but at least it's like reasonable. It's not like this is like over, way off of the origin. So it's in an okay place. If we're to blend this back with the idle, we probably want to look at the feet overall beforehand, but we would have to possibly blend the feet back in. And this comes to the point where is it worth even caring at all about such a thing for a cinematic where though I'm working with someone whose cinematic is like literally like, yep, it's a shot of their feet. And I'm like, well, okay, then we're gonna fix that shit then. So that's a possibility. I think we land pretty much. So where's the blend if we're going to blend it all of them? All this extra work, but I really want these intros. At least I think I do. So at this point, we're walking little funny business on the feet. I'm performing on a carpet. That's bad. Feet land. Feet are certainly settled by 10-ish. Looks like 10. So, okay, yeah, we're going to do this globally then. And if we want to offset, I set this up for Cinetracer before. I've done a similar system like this, is like, do you want, if we have a 3D model of a chair, do you want the origin of the animation to stay at the feet as the butt sits down, or do you want it to be under the butt? So if there's a capsule on this character, you would disable collision on whatever you're sitting with at runtime, but I think it typically feels better if the capsule stayed at the feet, and then this is just hanging off the back. So we could reposition everything to put the feet that way. I think that's my first inclination. That's what I'm going to go with for this set, and we'll just go with it. And then after I go program it into a game, I'll find out if that was bad. But then we just offset everything back. It's not that big of a change, but anyway. Kind of get back into like animation mindset. So, we'll say because 10 is our like goal set, it's like he's settled by this point. Are we doing anything? If we do corrections, they will be IK hand corrections, though everything I saw was pretty perfect. But we'll still drop down into this and boop, boop. So if we do make corrections, they will be IK hand corrections to bring up the hands, but the retarget was good. Should be fine. And then on our body offset, where are we here? No snappies, world. So we'll do how I've done animation for sitting before, where the feet stays, the capsule would be like right here. Yeah. So we have a pretty ideal setup. Now the question is, if I make these adjustments now, it's going to screw up the walk cycle. And this is the kind of shot that some filmmakers like. It's the shot of the feet as they walk in and they sit down. It's a hard thing to animate. But if you're just staring at the feet and the feet are going through the ground, that's bad. But I don't want to spend more than like 1 minute fixing this. Okay. And the foot going through there or whatever, that's fine. Whatever. We're going to go with it. So we have a final corrective or a corrective here that's different possibly than the walk cycle, but where's the blend, right? So we'll just like say it's 1 second. But his feet are already down, so that's not quite right. I have a feeling the corrective for the sit would actually be fine for the feet. I'm not trying to make good walks here because the toes aren't activating and stuff like that, but I don't really want to waste time on this. This is stuff that like, I mean, there's a lot. So, what do I want to do for this? I do want to do the recenter so that I could blend the animation of the walk into the idle and it doesn't like jump. That would be unusable. But are we so concerned with the feet? Huh. So what I can do is I'll hit this corrective now. And we'll see how badly it affects the let's go local. See how bad it affects the walk. And we'll just make a corrective for that at 9 or something like that, or whenever I think the blend is actually happening. I would like to reskin this mannequin so I can like, so this is like red or something, the foot. I can do that pretty quickly. It might be actually built into the shader, the material. So I can just like judge like foot clipping. And I need to go author like a couple new metahuman, or not a couple, I'm gonna author like one or two set of metahuman shoes that are fit for this type of animation. Flat foot animation, and the Unreal Engine Tech Graph, it does that too. And I was like, that probably is what makes sense. Should probably do it that way. For games, for cinematics, it's like whatever, like pure linear. This box too big. It's pretty flat. It's pretty flat here. Don't know how to use this gizmo. What are we doing? It's a left to right gizmo. I hate writing runtime gizmos. Months of my life have been dedicated to that back in the day. Okay, so that's a pretty good foot. Yeah, that's pretty on there. Now, did we keyframe them? No, we did not. Sometimes keyframe red, sometimes gray. I don't know why. Okay, so we have keys down for both, hopefully. Still find selection in here kind of like funny sometimes, and I don't use the new one. Can I box select? Oh, I can box select. This is still new to me that UE56 defaulted this on. It is like a Maya box select in here. Wow. It's like we're in Maya. That is so much better. Wow. And I know there's like selection filtering and stuff like that. I don't know how to use it, but I think you can like select these and like say it. But then I hit like some hop key and then it gets all set up and I get lost. But anyway. Cool. So with that corrective for the sit, how bad will that be for the walk-in? Ooh, little lock of the knee. Yeah, we're breaking things. Yeah, we broke things. So, okay, the feet came down. We're hyperextending the leg because of the pelvis hasn't come down to match it. So that's fine. So there's another thing where we could say this is sort of irrelevant because this is a base animation and there will be a retarget to some metahuman that has different size legs. But and this cube is not centered on its bottom, so it's not helpful. But if we say a 0.5, and then that would put this at 25, would it? It would. So that's pretty close. It's pretty close to like a 25 centimeter sit with a cushion, right? With like this cushion like squatted in. So it's a little bit lower than that for the mannequin, which doesn't matter once you retarget it. This is going to be somewhere else, but it's kind of nice to know like roughly. Is it? Oops. Wait. Wait, what did I just do? 0.25, 0.2, 0.4, 0.4 and 0.2. So not quite. We could just use the parametric cube. That would be much better. 0.45, and then that's not quite right, the math there, but let's do it by eye. This to be perfect. So I think we want to allow for the squish a little bit. So it isn't, we want to be like here. Man, I should just use the freaking in-game modeling tool. I forget how to use that thing though. We could probably just say it's a 0.5 meter sit. It's a little bit less than that. It's kind of like, if I was being like really particular, it's like a 0.48. It's a 48 centimeter sit. But that's just, I mean, you have to tweak this on the final retarget anyway, but I mean, we could probably just say it's 0.5. Let's just call this a 0.5 sit, and we'll just put this back to 25? Is that how we're gonna do that? Yeah, yeah. Let's just say it's 0.5. It's a 0.5 sit with some leg clipping, but that's always gonna happen in a game, so it's close. It's close to that. So, and then the capsule would be like here, which is sort of a different technical problem for later. But what axis? This is 0 here. Yeah, like in a game setting, we're not too mad about like something like this. It depends on the model of the chair and whatnot. So this is what we're kind of lining up for. So the next question is like how that transition looked coming in. Does his legs like clip through it or something like that? No, that's proper. That's fine. Feet are kind of doing some funny business down there. Okay, so this also changeable. So when do we feel okay with like a hips blend? It's probably here. Once the legs start bending, so it's like around 5. So, okay. What we want to do is preserve hips here in global, and we'll key body control there. But before this, wait, so this is holding it, and then it's kind of like before he actually makes it down, but we wouldn't know it until he settles. It is around this world. It's mostly settled, like say by 7. That's probably going to be, it's like really when you land, but it's probably around here. So this is fine. This is like the original key. And like this is where we would be blended back. So I forget, can you do this like Maya? You could hold, yeah, you can hold control in the middle. Okay, cool. So little legs, this is way too much time on this walk. But so we've landed the feet. I mean, we could still do their own correctives. Yeah, we still have to. This is a waste of time. But anyway, we're gonna copy the key from here. Have we keyed? So when are we blending the feet back in then? I got to do the thing where we just see the keys we care about. Okay, so I'm gonna go for this. We're gonna go for you. What happened to box drag? Okay, box drag, you, and we care about hips. Oh my god. Oh god. Yeah, I remember this. Oh my god. Oh my god. Why? No, it doesn't work. Okay, it doesn't work like why. It's weird. Anyway, I think you can do this. Nope. This. Isolate selected. Oh, there we go. Okay, cool. So there it is. Those are we care about hips, feet. That's nice. Okay, so what the hell's this? I forget what that is. That's our global control or something. I think we like moved the global back there. Oh, this is not worth it. But so this is what we like. This is the original as far as, but we haven't keyed it, I guess. Are these feet? Oh, these are feet. Okay, I see. There's an offset somewhere too, but we're not going to mess with that. That's already keyed in there. So we put feet keys at 10. Huh. I'm going to key these here too. And then here as well is where we'll eventually copy the keys into that. So the question is, this is such a short thing here. So we're, snap pad here. Okay, so we'll just kind of like look at the snap pads here, make the correctives, and then copy the keys to that, and then blend that in. That should be fine. So our world will come down a decent amount like this, and then this isn't like the best to do the place to do the foot key. Now I just keyed this and it's blending back, so we'll copy this to here. I think you can also just do it the Maya way, where like you do this and control middle, but it won't snap. It doesn't snap, so it doesn't help. But yeah, it doesn't snap, so fuck it. Like, it doesn't help me. But it doesn't change the value, and you can just could key it, but it doesn't snap, so it's not helping. So I'll just copy and paste it. So that's this, and then we blend back to like the old sit height, but the old sit height could be then affected. And then we want whatever that lens to be, the rest of the animations have to stick to that, ideally. So no foot snapping. Is it a little squatty? We could check that out too. And we need to find a nice place that we can like sort of nail the final foot offsets. No toe bend. I'm not going to fix that kind of stuff right now. My current Vicon setup does not do a ton of toe bending. I have to learn how to do a ROM. But I think this is fun. So the intro certainly makes this much, much worse for me. But in the end, I want this. I'm like, I want to be able to walk into the idol. I guess that's okay for now. And the feet are like okay-ish. They're like, they could use a whole pass of like someone who can like actually animate, but I don't feel like adding toe ball rotation to this walk cycle or with this walk. Okay, at least the feet aren't, at least the knees aren't hyperextended. It's maybe like a little squatty, and then we blend black to the original. So the question is now, are we happy with where the butt lands? Because it'll be there for the entire rest of the animation. Just playing around. We have the body here. We do have room, though I kind of want to just stay at a 90. I feel like we could even be lower. But we do have this, but then what's going on? Like that doesn't really work. We could also move the feet placement forward. But I'm going to just leave it as is. And this would be like a round cushion or something. So I'm not going to affect the seat height. And it's roughly we're interacting with the mannequin anyway. With Manny, it's like a 0.5. It's a 50 centimeter sit. Okay, so I think that's like most of the homework ahead of time that we want to preset up and then not mess with this too much more. Now, we have these are these the feet adjustments here? What's this one? I think this was a copy and paste of that. Where is the actual blend, if any? There is no real blend. We didn't really do any difference. I think these are all the same keys for the feet, but the pelvis, we adjusted and we blend. This is a blend. Here is a blend. This is a hold, so we could technically delete this. But that's like where I was basing it on. Oops. This blends back to source, basically, or like the original. Okay, I think that's probably fine. If we author everything else to that, we should be okay. I like don't know if you should like make like a new like level for each one of these. It probably doesn't matter if it's just the mannequin, but we'll see. Okay, so I've sort of resettled that origin of this animation as far as sitting will be between the feet. And what did we do? We like fixed the feet stuff and then countered and blended the hips to make sure that we're not locking feet. That's basically it. So this would then sort of set the standard for like everything else. All the rest of the animation. So we'll rebake this one. We'll do the long walk here of this pane, and now I can actually see what the hell this was called. Will it overwrite it? I have no idea. Can't click it, and pane, bad. Should we call this 2? Just in case that other one was better. There's no way it is. That's trash, to be honest, but will it overwrite it and even ask me? It does. Wow, incredible. We'll go stock. Oh, it's still pumping right now. Okay, fair. That looks fine. So as long as we keep this open, I can kind of tell what the hell is going on. Okay, so a little preset up, and we're starting this at 20. So the next one, rather important, is the sit idle. This should be as long as possible and loop. Without this foot settling thing. So we come in, foot settles, look to the left is shouldn't have done that. But still settling, foot settling, kind of leaning back. It's around here. That's the beginning. It's around there. Oh, we look already. Okay, that's not the longest idle in the world, but I'd say around here. Get to like oh my god, what the hell? There's like a difference between the focus there. I want to focus here. 29. Is that the beginning? Is that what we're thinking? I think. We'll see. Or was that the end? I think that was the end we're sort of looking at. It was around 32. An acceptable beginning. Settling. Hand moving. Foot moving. It's around here. So say it's 15. So there is kind of like a blend. Ooh, we're having some finger noise. We will not be cleaning up finger noise on this pass. We're looking at big picture. Does this way of breaking up animations, is it usable in game? That sort of stuff we can clean up later. So what is this, 15 to 31 or something? So 15-second idle. I guess that's probably pretty good. That should be pretty easy to blend. So we want to make sure that this is all in the same place as the walk to sit. It's a little too late to adjust feet, kind of. I mean, like really, this is like all that really matters is this idle sets this all the other ones, but and as long as the foot movement was like small, if the next animation has like a slightly different foot placement, it would just blend it in. It wouldn't be that bad. But anyway, we'll go with this. I guess we'll turn off this because nothing's selected and I'm not even in the control rig. But okay, let's do this. And yeah, we just cannot remember this path here. Very sad. But as long as we have this here, it's not that bad. SBS A. So this is going to be, I mean, the whole thing's a sit, but I'll call it sit idle 1. And, well, we call it not looped. There really shouldn't be versions of this. I don't think we need a version at the end, right? This is the not looped one. So we'll loop it. So I think I've been getting it wrong, but we could also then snag the first frame of this, and man, do I need to write a script that does that instead. But do I want to grab the first frame now or after? I think I'm going to do the first frames later. That's like too different of a workflow than what this is. We want to do like kind of similar tasks together. So we're just segmenting. So like immediately we're into the left, looking left, listening, the idle to back to idle. And we want to leave a tail on this so you can blend it. So we'll do, there's so many, 60 frames per second. Painful. There it is. Okay. So that's the end, and we want as much idle. I mean, you could have a huge idle before it, but you don't want it to go like directly into it. We want to have like some room. So this is pretty arbitrary, but we're just going to land at this next whole frame here of 27. So a little bit of handle into look left. And listen back and then handle again. Yeah, so I have a lot more space than I did last time I was making these. Oh, God, and this, why? So bad. Okay, imagine it remembering. SBS A. What is this? This is listen, look left. We have to loop all of these. Painful. Not looped, because like we might just chuck this on like an NPC in the background, just like looping over and over and over again. So it's like, oh yeah, for that case, we just all these loop, all these have to loop. Okay, we gotta write a script that does this. That makes my life easier. Okay, so plenty of idle on both sides, which is like kind of something I figured out yesterday after working with these. Okay, so same idea here. Didn't idle very long here, but that's enough. Here we'll start at 52. Idle, listening to the right. Could you mirror the animation? Sure, but it's not bad to have uniques. I mean, it kind of is from like a memory point of view, but from an animation variance point of view, I think it's good to have uniques. 89. So we are idle, look right and listen. I mean, you could run a talk animation over that, it'd be fine. I think that would be completely fine. Especially if it's like playing it down. If you're playing it super down, I mean, that's a talk animation if you wanted. He's just looking that way. And we're good. Okay, let's get out of here and deal with this disaster again and again. SBS A. What are we calling these? Listen, look right. Probably name this better than that, but anyway. And this is not looped. Nice. Okay. Moving on next. Oh, it's just middle drag in general. Can you middle drag shift? We'll find out. I thought it was control middle. It's just middle drag to do the Maya thing. Okay. To move the timeline but not update the animation. Or the playhead. So now we have idle turn left talk. When you move it a lot, it seems like there's a lot of motion, but I tried to play it down. This is me trying to idle less. But my head's moving. We'll go like from here. This is 83 idle, look left, talk with the transition built into it. Sort of cheating. Although you could, well, I'll try slicing them up. And this is like, and we have the animation down clean versus blending back. But there's probably very little difference. I don't think we even need that. Have to test. Okay, so we'll just stop the idle around here. Snap to whole frame. I'm sure there's like a button. It's a long one. Probably don't need that much talking, but there's like sub clips of the hand motion that we could pull out into different clips or something like that, but we'll kind of see. And this badness here. Okay, so this is SBS A. Listen, look left. So this is, I mean, they could be talk left. I mean, we could just call it like, they could all just be like look left A, look left B. I mean, because they could both just be talking and the intent was that it was listening. But this is like look left with your hand moving, so it's like you're really talking. But that's probably how I'll do the final naming. But for now, I'll just keep like kind of the attention. So this is just like talk, look left, not looped. The loop should be fairly easy because they're in idle. They're not like gonna perfectly bounce the hand up and down. It's because there's this idle loop in the middle. Talk, look left, not looped. Yeah, I suppose we don't have to say that it was talking. The other one could definitely be talking. Okay. Next one, we're back in our idle around here roughly. I'm just going to hit the next full frame, which we're in 60 frames per second, but should I have been in some like weird off frame rate? 60 and 30 would have lined up and 120 would have all lined up together on the whole frame, so that would be safer, but. And we're looking right. And there's like there's a lot of sub variations in this where you're talking and not looking at them and stuff like that. But I'll kind of just like see if I've captured enough of that I can pull off that kind of a moment. Just in motion editing or in the sequence editing later. Back into the idle, and that's the end. Oh, and the exit. Yeah, so we can idle for a little bit. I don't know what like the ideal handle is, but like, what if you don't want to blend back to idle? It's just like just let this thing roll out, you know, until you absolutely can't. I think that's probably useful for lazy me later that doesn't want to have to blend back to an idle. I can just let this clip roll out, whatever that ends up like. That's what we're cutting. So idle, look right, talk with hands. Boom. Okay. Do that one. Oh my god, this fucking UI. Why? Does no one do this? Is this like not how you're supposed to export animations? Talk. Look right. Not looped. And I think for city animations, you can't just turn the head. The whole body has to go that way. You can't just turn the head. It just can't be like an aim constraint, like the head turned there. It's like the whole body has to go that way. The question is like, how many do you need? And I also need to test like what turn in places look like. Okay, so for the walkout, I don't feel like cleaning up the feet or the hips, so I just hope the hips don't like hyperextend. They fucking do. Okay, never mind. We're doing that. Never mind. Complete lie. Just all the lies. Never mind. We're cleaning it all up. So anyway, so we walk out, and in Vicon I've clipped it here. Whoop. Well, I don't know. I don't know. Like you got to cut out like cut. You can't. It can't go much further than that because they stop. It's kind of weird. But anyway. Just let the feet hyperextend. I guess not. So this should be just like, if we're just like, the quickest way to finish this would be just to like do a blend on the hips. That's it. I don't want to do much more than that. So what is this speed? I don't know what those mean. Let's take these hips, work in global, key the body. So we've just held, that's an animation of nothing, and then we blend back to here at the full stand, which will just go whole frame 73. We're just going to bring this down so their legs are not hyperextended with our feet fix. Though if you pull the hips too down, it looks like you're walking with something in your pants, but that's fine. That is fine for me. Then I have to sort of design the cinematic in the game. There's like multiple versions of using this type of animation to test how it looks and feels, but I will try to build those out. Let's pump this out of here. this should be our final anim segment, and then we have to do the looping. But the looping for these are all from idle, so it should be pretty easy. You can almost not, yeah. I mean, it shouldn't be too bad. Side by side, side by side, and as long as I can see this when I'm exporting, it's the pain is not as bad. So this is sit to stand, and we don't loop this, so that's just final. That should be fine. Now, the only one that needs to loop is the idle. The other ones you sort of blend into, or you clip montages and they blend themselves. But in the case that I'm like, there's a bunch of people, NPCs sitting around, and I just need idles that are different. It's sort of weird to use the talking ones, but they kind of don't need to loop. It's sort of like, I guess I need to just go populate a level and be like, what animations make this easy? Looping is easy, but it's like 20 minutes of them, 20 seconds of them just looking left. I guess it could be. So they should all just loop, except for the intro outros. In case they're just like background NPC animations, they're not like, we're not to like fit a cinematic together with it. So, I mean, how many of these are we looping here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Super ich. I don't even know if I'm organized enough to pull that off. So this set, once it's good, these are finals. I know that I want this, and I want the other one, and I can make all sorts of stuff with that. Like I want these. So we could promote them already to narrative motion numbered, which would be helpful, versus like I can't parse what the hell this means. Like it's not in order that's any logical. So it's like looping this is gonna suck because I'm just like what frame. I'm just gonna get it wrong. So we could consider these like the unlooped finals and start giving them names. It's just so I can like not confuse myself. So the number one animation is the idle, the full idle. Then it's the look lefts, look rights, and then the intros and outros are like the least used, only work in like linear cinematic type of thing. Unless we like figure out like a root motion way of doing it. But we'd have to have blends from the idle animation of the player character, which we don't do. So as far as numbering, we want to do it in that way. So let's just look at the website. So what are we on here? We're on 51. Yeah, so this is going to be 52 coming up here. So 52, we want to think about, where are you? Idle looped, sit idle not looped. So if I say NM0052 now, okay, so this is a set, and this is a double set, a paired set. Though they're not like linked timing wise yet. I haven't started doing animations where like the timings are linked. Most people have told me that that's not needed and they don't want that. But so this is like these are side by sides. That's what we're calling this series. And I did 2 takes at them. One man spreaded, one not man spreaded. Narrative motion 52. Side by side is sort of like the set name. This is like side by side A, and the other one was side by side B. And now we have idle. This is just like the sitting idle. This is like the idle for the set. Hey, what's up, Stefan? Or Stefan. I forgot how to pronounce your name. How's it going, man? Hey, you're on my stream, and I'm cleaning up mocap. Not as well as you, but how's it going? So SBS A, side by side, set A. I'm gonna underscore this again. Side by side, set A, idle. That's it. There's not like an alt idle. This is the idle, and that's like the first thing. And then we could just use this for everybody sitting at the bus stop. NPCs like forever. That's like everybody. Let me just double check that is the last one. 52. Yeah. Okay. So 52. This is it. And it's not looped either. So this is dangerous because that's the name of the final. But let's see. How do we? I need to like be able to. This is really bad because like that's the name of the final animation. So maybe we'll just call this 52 SBS 8 idle, and this is not looped. But the thing is, if we do it this way, these are all kind of like all not looped, and then once I call it the final name, then it is looped, something like that. I think that this is okay. So we have listen, look left, listen, look right. So that's grouping them by their action, not by their direction. I have a feeling that when you go to write the state machine for these, that you care more about direction is first, action is second. So I would go left, right. So this is look left, look right, look left, look right. So this is look left. And this is listen. So it's like the least active version of it. So I would call this 53 SBS A look left. I could just call it left. Yeah, we'll just call it left A. Right? If I'm going to program a state machine, it's like they look left, but what they do, we have a selector or something for that. Like it doesn't, that's the secondary choice. So then it's 54 SBS A left B. I don't know about all these underscores. There's like too many underscores, but so we're grouping them by direction, and it's going from like least active to most active. So idle, left, left. I like that. Then we have listen, which is our like just less active, could be talking animation. So this is 55 SBS A right A, and then 56 SBS A left B. This is still going to be a nightmare to loop this, but from a naming convention. And then we have sit to stand, walk to sit. So these are just like, you could just use these for cinematics, but they should blend in. You can actually blend from this to any of these, kind of. But you want to blend to the idle. Or it should be. That's in theory. I'll make a cinematic with this later today or tomorrow where I'll test that. But so then these are sort of like the alts of the, or not alts, but they're just like kind of, I don't know, not as needed. So that one was walk to sit. This must be SBS A. I don't like the underscore in that first part, because they're in a folder called, so I'll get rid of that underscore. SBS A. This is, we could just call it exit, like walk exit, because I think that's the way to think about it. It's like, it's not like, it doesn't matter, like I don't have an alt where it's like walk to crouch or something. It's like walk to stand. It doesn't matter. So this is how you exit this SBS A. 58 SBS A intro. So so the intro should just be like walking in and then sitting. Yeah. And then we have all of this for blend. I wish I didn't look left, but we have all of this blend here. Okay. So idle, look left, 2 versions, look right, 2 versions, exit, intro. I wish intro was first. That's doable by the name. So let's do this one by 59. 57 is SBSA intro, and then 58 is SBS outro exit. Yeah, this makes sense for like if I was gonna chuck this in a data table and program it. That's like how I'd want to do it. Okay, so none of these loop. These don't need to loop. These do need to loop. I'm positive that I can script this with a Python script in Unreal Engine to just instantly loop it. I'll be like, take the first frame, put it at the end, blend it over 1 second with the end frame, give me the animation. But instead, I'll be doing it by hand because I don't know how to do that right now. And I need to write a function that mirrors these like offline. I guess I could use the data table way. I guess that would be fine. I kind of want to write something else though, but just take all these, just chuck a folder in here and just blah, 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 just spits out the mirrored version across X or whatever. Can somehow get these mocap data for practice? Yeah, so to start, it's on narrative motion and there's some free ones. So start with these ones. But every time I make like a new set, which I haven't done for a talking one, I'll put out more free ones. I should put out more free ones. I'm just like still trying to work out like what we're making here. Because like mocap's like infinite, right? But like what are we making? I think the prop ones I've sort of decided are not so useful. But these talking ones for at least dialogue scenes, and I'm talking with a couple other game developers that are like I'm making my narrative system in my game, like what the hell are we doing? Kind of developers. And it's like, those are what I'm focusing on now. They're also like very easy for me to perform. But anyway, there's some free ones here. And for like these like kind of talking ones, these talking paired ones, these are like super popular. I'll probably make a couple of these free too, just so people can test them as well. This is going to be a good set. Like And then there's like talking. I sort of have talking versions of this, but I haven't figured out the aiming yet. How to be like, yeah, you're standing and talking there, but now they're to the left of you. Like how I want to approach kind of like showing that. There's like a lot of ways to do it. Once they're standing, and aim offset is fine probably, but that does require like specific animation blueprints to like blend at the waist and that sort of stuff. I kind of want to present something that's like easier. This set would be a good free one, but it's going to be like kind of like one of my main sets, I'm pretty sure. So I'm not sure about that. Maybe like some of them, I don't know. We'll see. And most definitely they're being pirated already. So there's that. I think that's sort of the real answer. But anyway, let's see. So I have to loop these. That sucks. It's such a like mindless. I mean, there is some art to it, like where it's like you could like they lean forward, they lean back, they lean forward, and you blend on the lean back. I mean, that's real, but yeah, it just sucks to have to do this. So what we also want is then like quick way to just rip the first frame of each animation. You could do this like old school Unreal Engine style. This is before like control rig was good and sequencer was good. You could just like delete this frame here. I don't like doing this kind of stuff. Wait, how do we progress this? Oh, it doesn't have the sequencer hotkeys. Oh my god, what is this? I still see people editing animations this way. It's insane. Like, oh, now we're like mid-frame. Fuck this. I'm out of here. We're not even doing this. You're gonna end up like mid-frame. That actually, so you could dupe this and attempt to get a first frame in here, which is like impossible. Like these are like mid-frame, and then like delete all the frames in front of it. But, and then that's the animation file. I mean, okay, I'll attempt this. This feels so bad though, but let me take this. We dupe it. I mean, this would be great, like, because making a sequence of everyone's a pain in the ass. So we have this, not looped, and then we say frame 1, something like that. You could open this, but your hands are through her arms because it's not Manny. But like, how do you get to the actual first frame? You always end up with these like mid-frame animations that like feel really bad. Like it doesn't snap to the frame. Like what's this? What is that? But so if I do this and we say, how is it? Wait, how is that 5? How is that frame 5 to 10,000? Like where's the frame in here? How do I get this to be like just the first frame? Isn't this the first frame? Anyway, we shouldn't be in here. This is a nasty editor. Remove 1, 2. So is there frame 0? Is there a frame 0? Is that how that works? Let's try it. I think this is the first frame, but this feels very dirty and I don't trust this file at all. This is possibly the first frame. We'll see how that went. So we have not looped and that. So let's go to this side by side. And this is A. So this has been sectioning, but I didn't like save them in the sequence. So like it's a destructive way I've done this. Could we just dupe this? Does this save me time? SBS A idle loop. Man, it would probably be worth the week or two to figure out a way of scripting this in here. Oh god, do I want to even do this? I guess so. So delete this and this. Bring this in. Now, what do we name this? 52 SBS A not looped, and we have frame 1, so that's all looking pretty reasonable. We're doing this base 60 frames per second. Sure. Come here. Can I bring in SBS A? Nope. What is it? What's the name convention? 52. It should just be 52. It gives me the animation. Right? Gotta make it easy for myself. So, question: is this frame actually this? Are you actually safe? Looks pretty good. That looks pretty good. I think we could accept that. So we'll blend over a second just arbitrarily. There's some art to finding the blend point, but we're not going to be doing that today. It just starts leaning back. That's fine. That's completely fine. As long as it wouldn't disturb a cloth sim, that's all we care about. Ugh. I mean, it's not great, but you know, like at the end of the day, no one cares or knows. Who's to say that there's not some dialogue over that? I mean, there shouldn't be dialogue. Finger jitter or finger animation? It's jitter, but anyway, we're not. We could then take this and clean it up, and then the fingers would kind of jump blend between each other. But this is like your worst case. You're just looping the animation. But most of the cases, it's a montage um, being played out of a state machine that has a blend. So it's a little bit rough. We could probably maybe just like, I don't know if it's gonna help to like, so this question like, is that awkward lean back better to be shorter or longer? I don't know. So do a 2-second blend instead, or we could find a better endpoint. I think longer was better. That seems more like a breath backwards. So that's the blend. Okay, so that is slightly less painful than how I did it yesterday. So we're getting better, but this is 100%. I should be able to click this and say loop, and you say where end, how long blend, and this should just be a script. All right, and sell, and that would be great. And then Unreal Engine will just make it themselves, so we should do that. Let's do. Oh boy. Oh, so are we in a final? We're in a final now, right? We're in SBSA final. So now if I give it the NM, then it's the final. I think that saves me a little bit of renaming work too, maybe. So 052 SBSA idle, and it's like I don't have to say it's looped. That's the final. That's what I think. Possibly has a bunch of curves and bone in the animation that we don't want, but this is the source. We could clean this up after if we were caring about like performance, and we haven't retargeted the root bone or the IK bones or anything, but all that can be done for free later. So this is possibly the final. Will this loop in here? Who knows? I think it probably will. Yeah, well, it's set up to loop. Little finger noise. It's fine, but overall, it looks so like not necessary to need that kind of animation on an idle until you make it a metahuman. Yeah, that was clean. Okay, there's an idle. Someone clean up the fingers. I'll hire an outsourcer. Okay, so that's. Oh god, we're doing that for all these. I hate this so much, but okay. So anyway, let's do this again, over and over and over and over again. I mean that's production, isn't it? Then left. What do we call this? First frame? It doesn't really matter because of the way I've named it. We should just be able to type 53 and it gives it to me. So then we pause this. We try to pause this. Why? And then we try to go, can I hit up? No. Can I hit home? No. Okay, rip. Can't do anything. But zoom all the way into this thing. We put it like in the fractional here and we're deleting frame 1 to that. And there's our first frame. That makes my life. Should we batch do that to all of these? Probably. All right, let's just do that all at once. Could a script do this? God, I hope so. Or you're probably more like copy the keyframes and some other stuff. I don't know. I'm not sure how I would script blending it. That stuff I do in Sequencer. I don't know how I would script that. I bet it's possible though. Okay, we just zoom all the way in. Just get this thing basically at 0, and it can't delete the 0th frame. 54, 54, 55. How many more of these? 2 more. Yeah, it's not so bad. This is better than the way I did it yesterday, where I was like exporting them out of Sequencer. That was bad. Just call it first. Go to this one. Please stop autoplaying. I'm sure that's the setting somewhere. Into this. What? All the way in. All the way. There it is. We could probably just leave it at 0. What happens if you leave it at 0? Oh, never mind. We don't have to do anything. You leave it at 0 and it cuts off the first frame. Find the optimizations of this pipeline first. So we just open this, pause out of the gate. There's no hotkey to go back to 1 apparently. And then we just do it right out. Now, is it based on where you right click? It is. That's unfortunate. Okay, so it's actually based on where you right click, not where the playhead is. Ooh, not 2. What, really? There it is. Okay. So those should be the first frames of all of those. Now, do I care enough to make a sequence for each one? I kind of don't. I don't need the sequences saved of this looping process. Ideally, it's a script. I never do this again by hand, but... So we just did 52, so now we're looping 53. And I will send this live stream to someone at Epic and be like, please tell me there's a better way of doing this. Now we're in a 60 frames per second timeline. That does matter. I forget if you set the frame rate in Maya on the timeline. I'm pretty sure you do. It's been a minute. Now I should be able to just drag this in. We're on 53. I should be able to just drag this in here. So it's like tiny little frame. Yeah, that saves time a little bit, kind of. So it doesn't matter how much is at the end. It matters how much we blend in. So this, I mean, this is like the art part of it. Not that I'm gonna care, but we're gonna just call it a 2-second blend and just see how it is. Bad. Wait, that's 1 second, right? 31. That was 1 second. Yeah, 1 second's like a little bit too much, too little. Oh yeah, that's a good one. Okay, so we're good. Okay, and we're pumping the final out. Hopefully post process is off, and I'll clean up other things. Oh boy, why pain? Why you make me do this every time? So this is 53 final, hopefully, without cleanup. SBS A. I didn't even look what this was. I think it's just left A. What's up? Simuverse. Welcome to the glorious world of looping mocap. Let's just open this and make sure things are not bad. Oh, it's a long time to wait for this. Wait a minute. Do you look left? What the hell did I just make? Oh, we have a lot of blend in the beginning. That's good. That is good, actually, I think. Oh, you have a YouTube on Unreal Engine? Nice. I remember when I started Unreal Engine, there were like 5 of us. That was it. Boom. Okay, so we blended across the idle. I think that makes this the most reusable. For like cinematics, we'll like chop it up and stuff like that. But like if it's like just chuck that on an NPC in the background, that's pretty hype. And so like if they're different lengths too, you know, all the NPCs won't be like playing the exact animation. And I'll leave how many animations your game can budget for somebody else. I don't care about that. And technically, if there's like a technical animator on the staff, they could strip out all the bones and stuff and make the animations nice and small. But anyway, let's not even make sequences for all of these. Let's write a script that does this for me instead. It's like hard to snap animations on frames, so I kind of do it this way. So we're on 54, yeah. Oh god, left. That's a long one. And then we'll take 54 first frame, drop it here, and start brainstorming about how we could automate this instead while I'm mindlessly looping these animations. Oh, the shoulders. That's a rough one. It's not that bad. It's not my favorite. I'm like kind of like getting tired and I'm performing my shoulders. I can see the shoulders, like my posture gets better, but whatever, that's fine. So this is a talking animation. There's just like a healthy amount of like idle before and after. Yeah, sure, done. Okay, not bad. Not bad. You're making cinematics? Nice. That's perfect. That's exactly who I'm targeting. Thank you, YouTube. NM0054 SBSA left B. It's a little bit more of an active animation, but these are all could just be idles or looping animations for NPCs like in the background. That's what I was realizing. I was like, we might as well just loop all these. Yeah, so this is like the painful authoring part. That's like the value of narrative motion. It's like you don't want to do this, do you? You don't. No one wants to do this part, or not no one, but you don't really want to do this. Do you really want to hop in a mocap suit and process all these animations, or do you want to make the game? So this is the part, the pain part that just helps me get through it. But then the fun part, I should stream that part too more. Is using these and making something with it. So I gotta do that side of it more too. Anyway, that thing looped. Oh my god. Okay, so next, let's do what the computer should be doing for me. Make the next one. 55. Boom. Okay. I'm not mad at this new workflow. I mean, I kind of am, but I've made it so it's like cognitively not as painful as yesterday. That's progress. This is about how bad's this blend. I mean, it's an over and idle, basically. It shouldn't be that bad. Yeah. I mean, but no one's like pixel. I look at it, I'm like, that feels bad, but no one will care. That's fine. It's fine. been watching a lot of game cinematics. People pretty forgiving on the animation there. They're not the greatest. We're on a final 0055 SBSA right A. Oh my god, we're getting there. What's the solution for AI mocap? People are pretty happy with Quick Magic from a price point of view. They've been wanting me to make a video for them for a while, but it doesn't like feel right because of I don't know, just with the mocap system I have, it's just I can't really endorse those kind of solutions yet. But from like a, starting with nothing point of view, if you have a camera, it's pretty good. But you better be very good at cleaning up mocap because there's a lot to fix. So it's kind of a tough. You can get something, but then you need to be an animator because you got to go fix the foot contacts. You got to fix weird. It's all very interpy looking. It's very good for the price and the time investment, but like when you put it on game character, it's like it needs a lot of work. But that's certainly the easiest way to just like chuck a video into Quick Magic and you're cooking. I think I'm on my last one. Yeah, is it this 56? And then these are the finals. I think these are done, right? We're not doing anything to those. So just 56 left. Wait, what? Wait, this one. Oh, but we don't like doing it that way because it doesn't snap. 56. Oh my god. I don't enjoy this. This should be a script. You should be a script. Nope. 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 We just spawned a whole mannequin. Don't want that. Blizzard WoW cinematics. Yeah, the lead cinematic designer of WoW, she was just talking about something. I saw her on... Is she not on Twitter? But I was like looking at her LinkedIn yesterday. Really, the WoW ones are the I mean, WoW's what got me into doing video game art at all. So I mean, I like WoW a lot. Guess we'll leave it at that. 42, 41. Does it loop? Not my favorite. There's like a very obvious like hand slide, but again, don't matter. What is this? This is a talking animation? Yeah, I mean, most people probably shouldn't even use that part. This is the NPC in the background. Yeah, I mean, it's technically a loop, whatever. We're not making like walk cycles here, so anyway, we're good. We're good. You're good. Goodbye. Okay. Testing side by side. Oh my god. NM0056 SBSA set right B, and I think we're done. So these are all these are like finals. This would go on the site. These need to have a bunch of like animation channels stripped out of them, secondary bones stripped out, so that they're nice and small, but they would be fine too. But like in a game where you have like 1,000 animations, you want to strip these things down so that they're smaller. For everything, for game thread and for also just like package size, they're just bigger than they need to be. But there's still 12 megabytes is way too big for this animation, but it's fine for now. I don't have a way of stripping that down. They come stripped down out of Icon Raw, but they don't once I edit them. So we should be able to... Oh, and these are finals as well. Dupe them. Dupe and rename, or just hard rename. They're the same asset. I suppose it doesn't matter. I don't know. I'm gonna hard rename them. NM00 SBS side by side A intro, and if I'm correct, these are these are the finals. So how many animations did we just make here? And all we need is a pair. Actually, you could just take these, and obviously you could use them and have two people talking to each other. They're just both sitting in the exact same idle, so that's gonna look kind of cursed. But obviously we could make a cinematic with just these, but I wanted one that was like slightly different. And these don't have to, this side by side type of thing, I could just alter like, they're just basically different idols. And then what I'm trying to figure out is for like cinematics is like, do we really need to make, they're angry, they're sad? I'm sure there's more emotion from it, but I'm waiting for like kind of like the first users of these animations who are making like actual games to tell me that. They're like, here's us using it in the cinematic, and they're trying to deliver a more serious line or something like that. And I'm like, just show me. Like, you couldn't pull it off like with this. I believe it, but just like tell me what it is exactly you want. And then I'm doing it myself too. But I still think there's like these little movements you could just like take them out and like line them up. It's a little bit of take some art there, but I need specific direction on that. Oh yeah, what time is it in Korea? Is it like midnight or something? I was just working with a Korean company, and we were the time zones were pretty funny. The time zone overlaps with Korea on Discord. We're not bountiful. Okay, so I think that's this. So, do we in games? You want to go immediately use these, test them in a gray box, and be like, was this good? Did we screw it all up? Before you go and do that again, because I could go do this, but if they're all bad, then I've wasted time. You know, do I go put this in a game and test it real quick, build a couple cinematics, and be like, yep, that works, we're good? Or do I process the other set that I've made today? I think we go put this in a game instead. I think that's what we have to do, sadly. Yeah, so let's go do that. Let's get these out of here. Excuse the cursed bulky export at the moment. That's just the workflow I have. I don't know how to strip these down yet. So their potential finals into narrative motion, animation, UE5 mannequin. Unreal Engine's going to make like 8 folders for it. That's fine. The exporting, it's not great. It's not great how this is happening right now. But we could come strip them out in like another program. But for now, that's how it's going. Wait, this doesn't have this. But anyway, we'll see. We certainly don't need that, but I'm afraid to unclick it. Map skeletal motion to root. Anyway, I use the IK retargeter to do root stuff, root bone stuff. Let's just give this a shot. Let's go test it out. I'll put them in there like they're real. They're probably fine. And there's so many different ways of using this type of animation, especially when they have, well, I mean, the root motions are relevant because they don't move. But once the intros and stuff had root motion in it, then it's like, there's so many different ways that these get used. But anyway. 1 second. Oh no, we're good. Okay. So this is the raw. Which for a while I was like, I'm gonna put the raws online. Then I was like, you know what? Most people don't know how to edit mocap, so never mind. We're gonna do like this type of editing. This is fine. Once we're in the curves and I'm cleaning out noise, then I'm not happy. I don't really like doing that stuff, but I'll do it. But I don't really like it. We'd have to do that pass first and then loop everything. But I don't care at this point. What are we doing? Animations, mannequin ones. Okay, so it like, how are we gonna do this? Dupe this. It put this like into the game directory folder. And so these are possible finals. They're probably fine, and they're just so much bigger than they need to be. Because of the way that I've authored them out of Unreal. Out of Vicon, they're like half the size, something like that. They're much smaller. I was watching a animation optimizing video today, and they were like, it's like once you do this, it's like they're like 70% smaller. Like they're just massive, like way smaller. So the SPS A set, I like it. And the B set's like their legs are closed, but it's the same process. But then you could have 2 people sitting next to each other in a wide shot or in an actual third-person game, and it's not like those are clearly the same animations. Only need like 3 or 4 variations for like a whole game, and you're probably good for like a while. Feel safe deleting that? I think so. Yeah. Look what happened there. Okay, so those are there. Let me go chuck this in my like my work in progress game framework. I'm like kind of okay with the framework as it is now. For building a cinematic. I'm gonna doing some modifications to it, but they're gonna this project is very basically trying to recreate Clear Obscure is basically what I'm gonna be building, and it's just to like kind of test the mocap stuff. You going to sleep? Good night. Good night, South Korea. Okay. So this project is a disaster. I've rebuilt it like 8 times to get it where it's at right now. Oh boy, no folders, cool. we're just it's just a big old splat of animations, cool. Okay, so anyway, let's bring these in here. And so here's a project that has a lot of SK mannequins in it. Not as many as some of my other projects, but there's a couple. 3. Okay, that's not that many, but anyway, there's only 2 actually. So it's going to be this one. This is what the NPC skeleton's based off of. First of all, do they import? Should. I mean, we're like the same versions of Unreal Engine, but we're not relying on like U asset migrating or something like that, where that doesn't work between versions. There's a lot of information in an animation sequence in Unreal Engine that we don't want in our core animation set. Is that all of them? Just make sure that they play. Look at the IK bone. Anyway, you can, if you IK retarget this, the root bone and the IK bones get snapped into the right place. Just IK retarget it to the same skeleton. Okay, cool. Yeah. Idle. Cool. Great. So it's how are we gonna test? So to start, we could just make like a bunch of NPCs looping. That's it, and we don't make like an actual cinematic out of it. Let's go to NPC land. I gotta make some new meta-human clothing real quick. I was doing some AI gen stuff to generate AI meta-human skins, and not good. not great. I'm just gonna make them the normal way. But we were testing. There's some workflow with that, but I still think you screw around so much that you don't never actually, you could just make it the real way, and it's not faster yet. Someday maybe. But I would need to be like able to train the topology that I need for it, because it's like just photogrammetry nonsense, and that's why I don't scan close either. Like I just sculpt it in the time it takes me to like fix all this stuff. That's a long load. It's concerning. Okie dokie. So here we are. These are the writing idols. I think some of them don't loop. I think he doesn't loop, but the other one does. So let's make some chairs. And put a bunch of people sitting on a bench. So that's like one use case for it. It's a valuable use case. We also know that okay, so once you retarget to metahuman, you lose the height thing, but roughly we don't know math. What? Oh, it's okay. It's not centered. Okay, yeah. This isn't my level blocking kit. This is the one that came with the pack. I don't block my levels this way, but it's fine. Boom. Great. Cool. And so let's see. What are we going for here? So what kind of blueprint is on this? So this is a full character, like with a capsule, I believe. No, this is a raw metahuman blueprint, but with Manny inside of it. Okay, cool. That's cursed, but that's fine for now. We'll take this. So we're just live retargeting Manny to metahuman. And for now, that is how I'm processing this kind of stuff. So we're going to do Manny's animation, which we just made, which is narrative motion 00 something. SBSA idle. Okay, cool. So not the best with the skin, right? But let's get off the snap here. So he's not in a capsule. So this guy has a capsule. He's an NPC that can walk around. That causes even more problems. But I'm not even going to talk about that anyway. But anyway, so this is like the dumbest version of it. It's just like pretty much a skeletal mesh. But let's see how we are here. Okay, so hands are through his outfit. That's something we'd have to honestly not address, but like just don't make outfits like that. But anyway, he's just gonna sit there and idle. That's fine. if it we could make a specific animation for this where all we do is bring up the hands, but you'd have to do it for every animation. You could have some sort of control rig doing it, or you could just author your clothes so this doesn't happen. But anyway, those are further thoughts. What we're worried about is the source mocap, and then like those sort of things are changed later, um, depending on a lot of different factors. So let's just chuck these on there as you're looking left. What's his left? He's gonna look that way. Hey, these two are eventually gonna be talking to each other in sort of an odd way. But wait, so you're looking left, his left, so and then his right. So if I make him do the right animation, that should work. Oh, really? Really? Huh. Okay, well, let's see how this goes. Let's give this a shot. Just on the table. Are these two going to talk to each other eventually? We did so much idle handle on these. There they are. Hey, the timing's like the same, actually. It's not bad. What's up, MMK? Yeah, so, you know, if they're just idling, it's like, I don't know, they're just looking, right? So we just have like a bunch of idles, right? And they should loop. I'm not going to sit there and try to look for the looping point. But if you're kind of just like walking around and playing the level and you don't notice them like snap, you're pretty good. So these are 3 idles where they're not clearly talking, right? So it's like it could be just like they're looking around. But if these weren't for dialogue scenes specifically, there could be a lot more like idle breaks where they're like looking, you know, they're like scanning the room or whatever. But right, so these are just like sitting there, and these are the animations from the other day, yesterday, possibly, who knows. He just needs a pencil in his hand. He's the idol of that animation, and this is the talk of that animation. This is where I decided that like that was the loop point. Not I didn't loop that one. I was like, we should just loop them. Why not loop them? Like it just makes it just means you could use them for like pure NPC, background NPCs, and they should all be like LOD down to like either let the auto LOD rip or just LOD them to like 4 or something. Just let them sit in the background. It's like clearly you're not supposed to talk to these people. Whereas him, we'd let live at LOD 2 like the whole time or something like that. So these are just like essentially idles. We'll just slam all the idles together here. And just for fun, we'll chuck the more active talking ones on there too. And it's like, you know, they're loops. I mean, you have your NPCs talking in the background too sometimes, right? Just that's fine. So you are. So if we do, I'm so dumb. It's left B. He'll be looking. I have to do this. Left, and then he'll be looking right. And then the B animations are the more like I'm gonna move my hands. B. So this is all of the idles. It's like idle, left and right A, and left and right B are all playing out right here. And, you know, it's just the skin, you know, the freaking tunic is making the hands clip. But even the retarget, so I didn't do blend to source retargeting on these. We could have the hands be even better, but pretty good. Feet, okay. And like, these are not like serious NPCs. They're going to like get up and then start playing the game with you. That's what he is though. This guy is like that, but they're just like background people, right? And so because they all loop, you know, they work for this. And I was like, as I was making this scene here, I was like, they should just all loop because like we need this kind of stuff. I have this weird internal like clock in my head now when I'm recording mocap that like all the takes are the same length. I just like I don't know. I have like a certain pattern that I just always follow. So they're like almost all looping together at the same length, but they'll start to get more and more offset. And in the game, if we were going to do this, we'd probably be like on spawn, pick random time to start the playhead so that, you know, it wouldn't, the chance of them ever like being fully synced would be kind of gone. But pretty good. I think those work really well. You could have those just like in the background. And so like that's like the basic NPC authoring set that you would do. It's like, oh, they're just background characters. But like if you want them to be usable in a cinematic, that is different, in my opinion. That needs to be authored like a specific way. And that's I've been going for like kind of a simple version of that. So I kind of don't want to be in this room anymore, but whatever. So let's see. So we could trigger a cinematic on like one of these ones here. So what is gonna happen here? So that is that. So this isn't um the class of this is like the stock metahuman class, whereas this is an story framework class that has interaction widgets and stuff like that, and we could get him up and walk around if he wanted to. So I'm thinking not the like this is a much more complicated setup to have him walk around and talk to you than just like someone sat there and it rips a cinematic. Like that's not that bad. So yeah, no sequences folder. What are we doing? Where are the sequences? The fuck? This doesn't have sequences. I've remade this project so many times. I'll probably make it again. I'm not sure this is the final, but anyway, let's do student. That's it. That's it. It's called student. Okay, so who are we gonna talk to? How are we gonna trigger this? There's all sorts of questions. These are not the same animations. That's interesting. Like, But anyway, we'll talk to this guy because he's the furthest away. So we're gonna grab you. We could make it spawnable, but I'm just gonna do it this one here. Now we're not concerned. Oh, interesting, because there's a Manny in there, huh? Oh, hold up, undo. Interesting. Okay, so we're not actually animating the metahuman body, we're animating the mannequin body, and it's doing a runtime per target for this project. Okay. This is control rig. And we have the face control rig, and we could do a face animation. So this is the mannequin body and the metahuman face. Sort of weird. So if we did NM, if I could remember the name, we have a bunch in here, but we could even do the intro, right? So I write intro. We could have this cinematic, and he'd walk and sit. And because I placed him, I think in the right place, he should just kind of hit it. Yeah, not bad, right? So he's kind of walking through his peers. That's not great, but you know, it's fine. So we could have this be the intro of the cinematic, right? He walks in and lands. Boom. It's a big. That's a nice thing to be able to add in for free, quote unquote, right? So now we're here. I don't have a script, obviously, for this at this point. This is pure tech test. It would be nice to have another content browser, but we don't. And we'll do NM right into talking. Oh, but he's looking to his... Damn it, we should have done a talking forward animation too. God damn it. Oh. Why wouldn't I just do a talking forward animation too? That's painful. That's a painful realization. That sucks. That sucks a lot. Okay, we should have done talking forward animation. Damn it. Very sad. Anyway, we'll do talking... where are you? Left? Where to go? So there's gonna be some naming convention that I can just search this and it'll just pop up in the right way. I just haven't sorted out what that is yet. But so if we do left, he's looking off to nowhere. So we're gonna do right B. So that'll eventually be him talking. There it is, right? So let's just go right into it. He sits down, there's like a blend, and we just go boom right into it. And so we could use the intro bit there. Ish, like this. Just gonna throw this up here. It's a long time to wait, but we can always change the edit. He sits, looks that way, and just like boom right into it. Talking to the dude next to you. That's it. Let's have this be. This is already way too long. That's it. That's the whole anime. That's the whole cinematic. Minus a camera yet. And then you. This is a weird setup. Yeah, anyway, this is why we test. This is why we test in our own game. Gonna dog food this. I was like, are we making nonsense here or what? What are we doing? Oh, we do want the face, but whatever. I'm not gonna do face animation right now. We could just do a quick face animation, but we're not gonna. You are already sitting. That doesn't... I always wish that would work. It doesn't. You gotta do it this way. And so like eventually I'll have my own system memorized. I'll like know what number that is. And that's sort of the idea with the numbers, is that like eventually people will just be like, I know what that, like, boom, you just know it's 55, whatever. just like you would in a video game. Um, anyway, we'll go idle. He walks through you, so it's not great. It would be best if he was going to talk to the person over there. But anyway, he starts talking, and so he's idling. You could do some. We could bake it all down and have his do some additive animation of him like following him or something. But anyway, he sits down, starts talking, and then the other guy's just gonna like look over at him. And we should be able to just pop a. God, I need to memorize the numbers. What number is it? It's like 50 something, right? You're gonna do left. So that's just like looking left without talking, right? That was like the idea with that animation for B. And we even have like the transition, right there. A little bit of blend. So he idles, sits, and they kind of just look at each other like that. And then now you could bake the whole thing and then like fix up the exact look or something, but it's pretty close. So there's the glorious cinematic here of two people sitting next to each other. And then we would just do, or my workflow, I'm mostly just doing like audio driven animation, chuck it in there. Does the hand movement line up with it? You know, it's up to you. And then if we're doing that too, we could also bake this and then move the hands up if we wanted to. I guess I could try that in a second. Might as well try that. So, but this tunic, again, you got to design your game skins with this in mind. It's like, just don't do this. There's like, video games I feel like have like very similar skins because of animation. It's like you can't do that. You can't make the outfit that way. It's gonna go badly. So let me see if that's actually real. So let's fix this guy. And you probably okay. So this is a cinematic playing a sequence versus bumping this out and it's a montage over a player character or something like that, or like an NPC. So this is the easiest way. If you have to worry about this blending into like an actual NPC that moves around, that's a different story. But we should be able to then just bake this situation. Layered. We want layered one. What are we doing here? That's a bake. We don't want. Do we want to bake this? We could. How do you do the layered one here? I can bake to control rig. Do I do it up? I don't do it up here. Wait, how come I can't do an additive? Oh, it's this. Yeah, that's just wrong button. Let's do this one. See our mannequin. Can we go to animation mode? Are we gonna crash? Animation mode. What do we have? Like stuff hidden? Where's your control rig, friend? The hell is the control rig? Does this not work? Where's your control rig? Huh. We could certainly bake it down. Oh, is it because the mannequin's hidden? Because I have a hidden mannequin in here. Ugh. Okay. Okay, well that's good to know. Okay, well we'll just leave it as is. I would need to like make the mannequin visible. Is that what's going on? It's because you're invisible. Yeah, I suppose it is. If we're doing a runtime retarget, so this is sort of a weird workflow. There it is. Okay, well, okay, so this is a little cursed. But this is how I'm dealing with metahumans that are different sizes right now, is just we're hot retargeting, live retargeting from the mannequin. So this certainly presents as more complicated than it needs to be if I ever make like a YouTube version of this. Okay, sure. And so we could blend to source the IK. There's a lot that could be fixed with this, but for now we're just going to do like the most manual way possible, is like a unique fix per animation set. And it does have the mannequin over it, so that's not helpful. Auto key? No. Fresh project, not auto key. This is super convoluted looking, having to animate the mannequin and have the retarget. If we blend to source the IK retarget, it would be better. We should probably do that. And then fix up like anything else. Then we could hand key the like. We could just give the look direction like a slightly bit like. Oh, well, yeah. Okay, we're snapping. No. Little down look for the whole ass animation, and then we could hand key any offset. So that should fix his hands. Sort of convoluted, but it's not. I've seen worse setups. Hopefully we're not keying that. So now his hands are out of his legs. His are not though. We haven't fixed him. He's a little harder because he blends in, but it wouldn't be that bad. Fuck it. Let's do it. Let's do you. Oh, for the face. Oh, we left this so we could put in a face animation on it. I'm not going to do that. Actually, I should have left it. We could have just chucked on any face animation, right? It doesn't even have to be something correct for this. But let's make Manny visible. Probably do Blendosaur's hands and feet. The feet have been fine, but probably Blendosaur's hands. But if you did this per cinematic, I think this is still not that much work. Layered control rig. Where'd you go? Oh, you walk in. Hard, make my life harder, but okay, sure. Let's go to the head. This is gonna be an IK hands fix. Boop, 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 and goodbye. And we probably don't even have to blend, but it'll make the hands kind of like funny here. So okay, we'll just pick a blend point. It'll be here. So we will take you. What's this first frame? Don't like that. But hopefully nothing changed. What the hell? We have all these auto keys happen. I like do something wrong and I like auto key stuff, but anyway, you sit, and so we'll find the point here, but then we'll blend it back over like a second or something. Bring the hands up, back a little bit. It's fine. I'll just do the fix now. Well, we'll figure out the blend together. We could do the thing where you like only show the controls you're using. I guess I'll try that. Pretty good. It's pretty good so far. And then here, hand come up, hand go over, and save. This keyframe, we don't want to blend it that long. I mean, it's not bad, but anyway, we want to blend that like here. That offset. And just keep going. Just do a better job. It's not that bad. And it's per cinematic then. And if this was for like an NPC or something where you just bake out the FBX and you play it as a montage or something, but that surely depends on what's going on. So hands are fixed. They're not, but that's only because we're going to play this cinematic like in game. So this game framework, to trigger this sequence would need to be referenced in the level. Oh, so what happens if I play now? Interesting. So to have that sequence fire, these two probably need an animation blueprint, probably with a default slot in it. Or yeah, that's probably the best. So I don't have a great system for that now. But that's sort of where I'm building this framework out. I was like, what are people doing in Unreal Engine to make this work? So we could have them in an animation blueprint with a slot on it, and the sequence will play in that slot. It's a full body thing going on here. A separate head, I guess. But no like layer per blends or anything. Or like specific like foot trace control rigs or whatever. They're not going to ever like pawn move. They're just sort of like skeletons moving around. So it just needs an animation blueprint. Sort of like probably how this guy's rocking right now. However, let's just trigger this sequence first, and then I'll deal with the animation blueprint. So we could... Oh, there's no camera either. In that, we would have to put camera cuts in. But so how does one trigger a cinematic in this framework? I kind of forget. So let's grab... oh no, don't do that. Let's do... What is all this? All these elf blueprints. Let's grab that sequence real quick. Instance it into the level. We'll trigger this with like just walking in and not worry about transitions or anything fancy. And we need an animation blueprint so they'll sit there idles until the sequence fires. Because they're like in custom mode or something right now. Is that what's going on? Yeah, they're in custom. Which, so, yeah, they want their own animation blueprints that tells them they're idle. Maybe we'll make like a generic state machine for them for NPCs, but as long as there's a slot it should start firing the animation during the sequence. But I need to do a little bit of copy pasta here from the template, because I forget how this game framework wants me to trigger cinematics. Let's see here. Example level, and let's go ahead and chuck this in favorites. Where are you? Here, because we need to come here a bunch. Level, example map, example menu. Let's do this. Loading a bunch of stuff into memory I don't quite need, but it's fine. Example map. Okay, cool. So where is my sequence trigger thing? Volume. Where are you? I know there's one in here. I copied and pasted this before. Where are you? I think it's just a trigger and you say play sequence. It's basically it, but there's like a way that this system wants me to do it, and I don't remember. So it's one of these. I thought it was like green. Where are you? Is it this? I just saw it. Or is it? No. I mean, these. So what are these? These are edit task blueprints. There's one that he made that's just like play the sequence. I just got to figure out where they put it. And I copied and pasted it, and it was working. Is this? This is gonna like tell. Is this just a trigger box that must be referenced in the level blueprint? I think is what's going on. Where are you? That like teleports you somewhere. Damn, one of these is like it plays a sequence. But there's like code for it. Let me hop in the level blueprint real quick. I'll make a manager class for this instead, but the level blueprint's fine for now. What do we got going on here? Overlap. Oh, it's this. On overlap, play a level sequence. Yeah, all this code, I don't know. So, but we're not going to do any like game logic based off it after. We're just going to boom, play the sequence. That's it. That's all I need is this. So on just a raw trigger box overlap, it's all this code here. I don't remember, so I'll take this. And we'll build a class that does this kind of like without having to be in the level blueprint. But give me this code. This is to their sequence manager. It has all these parameters. I don't remember what those are, so cool. Hopefully, and trigger box 4. Can I double click you when you go to me? Go to it. So you're just a straight trigger box generic. You're not even blueprinted. And hard refed into the level blueprint. Sure, that's fine. Let's do levels NPC land. Okay. So let's grab trigger box is generic, right? Yeah, trigger box. Okay. So we'll do this and we'll put it like here. And I'm assuming all the collision channels and stuff are set up on this thing correctly. And we'll do it the level blueprint way for now. We'll do on overlap. Where are you? Begin overlap. It's bound to an event. That's how this works. Wait. On active overlap bind. It just automatically made a dispatcher. So that's okay. Whatever. We'll just do it this way. Doesn't matter who. For now, and we're hard referencing the trigger box, and we're hard referencing the sequence too. But we can make a class that does this instead. And we're gonna talk to their sequence manager. And what are we doing here? There's all these like fade to black and all sorts of like cool stuff they've built into this. Oh my god, yeah. I don't really want to sort through that right now, but yeah, a lot of pre-made settings. Hide player, hide HUD. Oh, fancy. Wow. Oh, you could disable movement here. Oh, okay. Okay, there's a lot of stuff they've built into that struct, but we'll just kind of leave it. And now, can I do this? Will this know the level? No, it's just student. There it is. There's a chance that works. Let's try that. Let's walk into this. What's that? What is that? Oh, that's that's like art stuff. Nope. Yeah, really? What do you have to do to this trigger box to have the player overlap through it? Does he have a specific like collision channel for this? How come you're not collisioning? Let's see. So I think the level blueprint's wrong. Let's give this a name. Let's call this trigger box student. What are we doing? Yeah, right. So this is just like a generic event. It's not, there's no reference to the actual actor is what's happening. So that's not good. I'd kind of rather make a blueprint that does this for me. And it would be like, you would just reference in what's happening. So let's do create reference, and then we'll do on actor begin overlap. No, what? Let's do, if I click this, it's still selected, isn't it? It's selected in the level. So we kind of had it before. Let me try this again. So I select you, I come here, this had stuff there. Huh. Create reference, add event. Can I do it now? On event overlap. This was, the way it came in before was actually better. It had already bound this to this. That's not gonna work doing that, but how do I bind your thing? How do I get your event down here? I'm just gonna make a blueprint for this or something. I'm in the level blueprint. I was kind of surprised you could do that. How did that other, how do we bind this? This needs to be your event. How do we do this? I don't usually hard reference this kind of stuff. I have a class for it. I guess we could go make that real quick. Yeah, I suppose that's just a better idea. He might have a class for this already, but I'll start a new one. So I'll build my own core on top of this. This is like my mods. It should probably be in their folder, but for now not. Let's do trigger cinematic. And let's do a box collision. And then you on overlap. Where are we? I don't know what the pawn set up to send out overlaps, but we'll find out. Cursor. Where's just begin overlap? Okay, so let's just do this to start. Let's do print string. Will you by default actually tell me that the player is colliding with you? Let's start with that. And we'll get rid of, I need this code though, this stuff. Plop that in here for a second. Fix that in a bit. Actually, we could probably just boom play it right now. I just want to make sure that we actually overlap with this thing. I think we should probably delete that out. Okay, so no level blueprint. Oh yeah, that's fine. Actually, I wonder if the level blueprint's like corrupted now, like won't work. Just do this. Just do what we should do it in every level blueprint and delete everything out of it. Okay. So come here, class. Where do we put this? We have our own subcore of things now. So can I actually collide the pawn through this is the first question. Or is like, I forget how we have to set this up. Where are you? There it is. Boom. 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 Sandbox character. Sandbox character. GG gasp. Okay. So we have the event firing. That's all that really matters. And it's modular now. So we'll do this. Sequencer. So this is their framework. This is just data. And we'll pop this here. You are cinematic. Or I'll just call it sequence to play. Expose. Does it have to be instanced in the level? I forget how that works. I don't think it does. But we'll just hard reference it. So, oh, it's already set up to be student? How does it know that? Is that because this was hard coded in there? How do you know what to play already? A trigger cine. This is a trigger cine instance. How do you have a sequence to play already? How does it know this? That is correct, but okay. Not good. So it's playing, but it's not playing. So let's see if I can chuck an animation blueprint on those two people. I'm pretty sure we're just sitting this full sequence. I just can't see it. And there's no camera. So yeah, okay, there we go. So Anyway, it played the sequence, but then it's not playing on these people yet. So how do we want to set up this thing's animation blueprint? Let's do... We certainly have something that would work already, I think, which should be this NPC one. It should just be an idle with a slot on it. We'll just use that real quick. Or I'll make a quick new one. I obviously need to make this so that I can switch them at any point. ABP Manny NPC sit. Where are you? Where'd you go? But I gotta make it so you can switch the idols to whatever I want from like an enum or something. Let's see. Let's get rid of this. We should memorize the narrative motion something. Which one is it? SBS idle. Yeah, that'll work. Okay. So can you instance change the animation blueprint on a meta-human blueprint, or is that going to crash and be bad? I could certainly see it crashing. So Manny custom mode animation blueprint, and we are ABP sitting. Is that what I called it? Or sit? NPC sit. So we'll do it per instance. It's kind of weird, but it's fine for now. Custom blueprint. ABP sit. So will you actually, through that slot now, it should play it. We could put a camera in there too, but I could tell that it's playing. Oh, we're like in it already. There it goes. Okay, cool. Now it's playing. And my pawn went away. Great. Okay, cool. So that's fine. Blueprint better already anyway. So let's hop back in this sequence here and we'll do some spawnable cinema cameras into this. And I guess the player has no point of it. I don't have a narrative design for this yet. It's just like make animation play is good enough for me to start. But we want to kind of figure out like why the hell are we watching this? And there's the pawn part of it for the player. You can just use the regular monitor. Yeah, in a little bit, I guess. So we could just go single camera. I'd actually want to let's do a full coverage here. It's a whole movie. Let's do and then go organize it a little bit. But let's do camera component. Is that how we're doing this camera component? Yeah, that's fine. So we'll do. Where's this focus plan? I should just like disable focus, but I guess that's less fun for the cinematically inclined people. So here's our wide shot. Awful. Let's do this. Oh, is he gonna be playing? What's he gonna be doing if we do this? I don't know. We'll find out. Are you gonna be playing an animation during this? Runtime cinematics are. There's a lot to think about. What the hell the rest of the world's doing? Have an NPC just like walking through your scene. Okay, I don't like that he walks through his legs. We gotta not show that. That's not good. How could we do that? How do we not show this? We could just start here, to be honest. We could just start the animation here. I think that's fine. I think that's the solution. At least we have the intro. Okay, cool. Done. That's the first shot. We should make a folder of this. So I'm going to call this student cam A. Stick this into like a little cinematic folder. Student. I should have instanced this level in, but we're not anywhere near making the actual game yet. Let's do. So if you duplicate, it like moves it, which is cursed. So we don't want to ever do that. Let's do B. Let's bring in. We're driving B. So we'll cut across to who's driving the scene. We're gonna go for let's play in mediums. Let's not even go frame or change frame. Do we need to key this? Not really. We're not like pulling focus. We're just gonna have it land in the right place. I mean, I kind of want to see the whole body. Is the point? I mean, if you cut into a close-up, it means you have bad body animation. well, so we'll do a close up on this guy. But the point is to kind of see the body animation in playing. Okay, cool. That's that angle. Let's do copy paste to C. And C comes in. We're driving C, camera component C, and this one we'll do a focal length change. 50 mil. We could do it clean. Though he's not the one talking, but anyway. Where is the focus? We have to go turn off those focus planes or else they'll begin the cinematics. Why is this so hard to move? What are we doing? Why is this so hard to move and being so laggy? Take it. Oh no, I ruined it. Why is this being so bad? What are we doing? Something's bugged or something. I'm like in the wrong view or something. What's going on with this? What are we doing here? There's like too many cameras with their focus planes on. I think they're all like colliding or something. Something's wrong here. Let's turn this off. Let's turn off all these focus planes. There's too many focus planes. And we're on C. Go into C. Camera component. I mean, I do want this one so I can actually get the focus right on this. It's not on. Oh my god, what's going on? We're just gonna delete this camera is what's about to happen. What are you doing? What are you doing? Okay, wait, this camera goes bye-bye. And then you have your focus plane on? What the hell is going on here? Focus plane off, but it's clearly on. This is a leave and come back situation. Let's go levels, blank. Sequence freaking out. Or I did something wrong, but just too many cameras. Walks in. Blah blah blah. I'm just gonna turn off focus. I don't care. I don't care about focus right now. But here's C. Now, should I have dropped keyframes? Probably should have dropped keyframes on those positions. I kind of forget how this works. If it's gonna like stay where it is in the level or not, but find out in a second. Try to get it clean. I mean, he's gonna be popping in and out, but. And are you still bugged? Are you still freaking? What is going on with this? What is this? I can't focus this camera. You know what? There is no focus. That's what's going on. Focus is. What am I doing? Something wrong here. I don't know what it is. Okay, so we'll come up here. Man walks in, cut on action. Boom. Didn't actually do it. Cut on act. What are we do? Why don't you break? So this has a different hotkey than the other ones. What? It shouldn't. Oh, is that the break there? What the fuck is this? What is going on? Are we in like a terrible bug? Is that what's happening? Sequencer is freaking out on me. What are we doing? What is all this? What is this? I can't even undo. Oh boy, this is like corrupted. I'm like gonna redo this sequence or something. We should bump these animations out of here. Just clean them up. Just take them clean. Shit. What are you doing? I probably did something wrong, but now I lost all those positions. Sadness. I'm about to just make this one cut. Why? Oh boy. I might have just like broken this completely. But I don't want to lose these animations that I did. I guess we should just bump them. I could just play them as montages if I had to. How come you don't make a camera when I do this now? What in the world? How come you don't make cameras anymore? Isn't that how you do it? You bind to the camera? Camera cut. Well, I broke sequencer. I don't know how to fix this at this point. Create a camera. What in the world? Yeah, I was going to set these as spawnable. but I can't even get them to work now. What did I do to this sequence that it's broken? Understand. Usually you just drag it in. Like if there's no camera cuts, I'm gonna close this. Right. We just drag in a camera and it becomes the first sequence. How come I don't have the little thing? Like the little window here? I don't trust this. Sadness. Oh, there it goes. Okay. Okay. Huh. Huh. Sure. You know what? Focus. This is what I usually do for these Cinemax when I don't care about stupid focus. There is no focus. Freaking focus planes bugged when I was like scrolling them. I don't get it. Why? Do we dare bring in two at once? I think not. But anyway, I think the animations are working. But I won't know until I play this here cinematic real quick. Huh? Well, I can't use the other mouse. The mouse you normally use. Yeah, in a minute. So now, am I gonna even attempt cutting this? This has been freaking out on me. I should be able to cut this. Okay, anyway. Tried to cut here. It's control backspace normally. Am I about to do exactly what just happened? Okay. Is that a cut? It is. Oh, okay. It is I think I cut it like 3 times on top of itself or something. I didn't like that. So we'll switch this one to B. What? What? Isn't this a cut? What are we doing? What? Is that not how you cut these? I swear that's how you cut these. What? If I move this, it's gonna freak out again. And I thought that's how you put more cuts in. What is going on with this? I just made a sequence like this recently. So there's a cut there. I should be able to switch this cut to B. I guess I'm doing that wrong. What if I... That's what that bind is doing, is switching that. Why can't I delete you, Sarah said. Let's try cutting this here. Admittedly, I am new to this type of sequence editing, but why? What the fuck? Okay, I mean, that's somewhat acceptable if it lets me switch cameras. Are you going to let me switch this? Okay, well, that is not how I want that to work, but that's fine, I guess. So wide, down. So let's do this. And it like pulls it along. It's like being so smart about it. I just want it to be dumb, like Resolve would be. But sure. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. And we should make it blend. But let me just make sure that it's going to fire. Oh, we're just in it. We're just in it. But anyway, yeah. Huh, hand a little noisy. That stuff's cleanable. But blending between those. Oh, and look, we're out of texture. Yeah, out of texture memory. Rip. Walks in. So he's just playing the foreground NPCs. This is runtime. He's just still playing whatever he's doing. And then the animation sequence takes over their animation blueprint default slot, and we're cooking. Okay, that took way too long. And it like spawned her back in. Maybe we don't kill the pawn during that. Okay, where's the trigger? I guess that wasn't that bad. It's super something. I just like bugged out the sequencer, or maybe I don't know how sequence cuts work. Let's get this thing back open. So we can like, we'll disable movement. Random start time is interesting. Hide player, we'll just leave it. Disable look at input. So if you don't, actually, I'm kind of interested to see what happens. I didn't rate this side of it, so. We should make these spawnable cameras, and we should blend these in. Here. We have to do make blendable, can blend. What is going on up here? Get my mouse away from this, I guess. 3 second blend, 2.5 second blend, 2.5 second blend. I guess you don't blend that cut that I did over there, so never mind. You don't blend it. This is a hard cut. This is a hard like cut to black type of cinematic. It's not supposed to like seamlessly blend in from the player camera, so that's actually fine like that. And what we're gonna do, I think that's it for the sequence. Sequence is good. It's just boom cutscene. So the player is still there. I think we're just not in the scene. So if I put the box in there, she could be in there, but that's, we have to design something where that would make sense or matter. Yeah, I mean, that's a cutscene. That's fine. And we source blended the idle to the talking, and then did like a one pass corrective on the hands. That's it. So that's pretty good. And now I wonder when they, so they're perfectly synced in their idles. So we would give them different idles or tell them to start them differently at different times. So there's things to do on that side of it, but like the source animation is there. I mean, that's truly what matters, but I do want to, okay, so there's the pawn. I can't move. So she's just in the shot. That's funny. So I guess we would remove her. It depends on where we want to trigger the animation. We'll just trigger it so that it's not in the shop. So we could trigger it from somewhere else anyway. But the blend works. I see if I can bring the face back in and just chuck any face animation on it. And then with that, you could then also layer the eye corrections and stuff like that on top of it. I think that would be fine. So yeah, I think the other set, if we author it this exact same way, I think it's pretty good. I haven't tried using them on like a NPC that can walk around, but that's like a whole different idea anyway. Because we have to kind of like consider what their walk is like a little bit, I think. So if we walk in now, it's just going to be like blop, and then it's like you're talking to these two. They're all in the same clothes. That doesn't help in haircuts. Can I rebind the face in here? I forgot how that works. Oh man, this is like flickering and freaking me out. But I should be able to add face, right? Oh, okay, that's not how that works. Face. And then, so I don't have any idols. I gotta go make some face animations. This is like not the focus right now. Who are you? That's this camera. This character. Now, we should have some random talking animations. Yeah, I'll just do this. So actually, he doesn't talk the whole time. It's just the other guy talking. He's just kind of listening. So we'll do this. Boom. Oh no, there it is. Face, that component. It's like here, he starts talking. This talking animation. Guess I should look at this. He's just listening, I guess. So it just kind of snaps on. We need to blend it from an idle or something. Can you tell this to just blend on its own? I think you can, yeah. Okay, I think that was just blending in. Did that just blend? Yeah, so that blends from like nothing. No, that just like snapped on there. I'm gonna undo that. Anyway, we blend from an idle. I don't have one. It just snaps on, but that's okay. I don't have that much face animation right now. Okay, cool. So I'm pretty happy with this overall. Good tech test. Set these to spawnable so they're not just like sitting in the level. I should just spawn not here, but you know. Oh, I walked into it. God damn it. Anyway. kind of snappy. Could play the audio over this. Doesn't make any sense, but anyway, I think this is proper for setting that up. Everyone's all the same clothes and the same face. It's really disorienting and odd, but it doesn't make a ton of sense because he was already sitting. But oh well. I should blend out the exit animation too. Anyway, and then this guy, he's using the standing talking animations from yesterday, and I haven't made the mod yet where he'll actually end the montage at the right time. He just kind of plays it forever, so I gotta fix that. Oh, and we're stuck. Yeah. Okay. So this one doesn't cut to a camera. This is in-game dialogue. The other one's like a hard cinematic sequence like that. Cool, cool. Okay, so that's a good stopping place for this point. What time is it? I gotta go do some house stuff. But maybe I'll come back and stream the processing the second one. But so this is kind of like the mindset for creating these NPC/dialogue animations. So easy enough to make just like looping, I'm sitting there stuff, but then to have it be blendable, to be able to make talking animations happen over it. Slightly different exercise. The frame rate seemed funny on that. I don't know what that was. I think I just have like a low frame. It's just a low frame rate overall. I don't think it was the animation's fault. I couldn't tell if that was like noise on the animation or like just a low frame rate. When his hand comes up, it looks weird. I can't tell if that's like noise on the animation or the frame rate's low. I think it's both. A little bit of both. A little short cinematic. Oh, we defaulted back to that. Okay, that's fine. Oh, try not to trigger it again. And then this, I gotta change his interaction distance. He's like too far away. And I have this so that it doesn't play a camera. He just kind of like free plays it. Which I think is like gonna be buggy because people just like leave. I'd have to have some sort of like bounding box that like if you leave, it cuts the cinematic or something like that. But that shouldn't be too hard to set up either. So much different execution, same animations, but just different execution. And then he could like walk over here and then we could have it play a different dialogue tree or whatever. And we're just in the shot. Cool. And there is depth of field. I thought I disabled it, but I guess not. We're in. That'll wrap it up for this one. I gotta go do some other stuff, but I think I'm gonna come back and process the second set, and then I need to make like a quick other metahuman. And yeah, tunics cause sitting issues for sure. But this is kind of the outfit for like the students and whatnot, but we might consider making outfits that do not have as much of this, at least for the ones that would be playing these animations. It would be a large pain in the butt to... I'm not sure how I would retarget the entire set for this offset with the hands. I'm sure there's something we could do for it. But other things to consider. But I will be back. Peace.